using the technical brush and going with the 6B only? Because hair are supposed to be fine and straight.
Yeah, because that is your perception of how you perceive hair and how you want to draw hair, right? I don't want it to look realistic. I want it to look something that is more maybe abstract, maybe more weird, and that is what makes your art stand out, right? Because everyone is doing something that is like drawing thin hair. I have a feature over here which gives me freedom to draw hair. For example, this brush, this gives me the hair feature, but I don't want to use that hair.
Okay, okay.
This is actually a choice of mine that I want to draw. um, I want to draw the hair in my own way. Yeah.
So actually, you're building your style. You're building your identity by actually choosing
Yeah.
which colors and what you want to actually do.
Yeah. That is actually a constant this thing
And
challenge, not challenge, something that is it's like a sword on your head that you have to be original, you have to be unique. What is it that makes your art different from the art that is out there and many people are making it?
did you ever face imposter syndrome?
um I did. Can you explain what is imposter syndrome? I
Yeah,
actually have
so
not.
basically, I did went through it. So like sometimes it does happen that you take inspiration from people and then you draw something, and then somehow it, like, you have put the efforts of making it look very different from the original drawing, but still it ends up looking from a third eye perspective to be seen, and then you feel like you are actually imposing someone and you're not actually that good. Yeah, that's what an imposter syndrome stands for.
I didn't get it.
Okay, so like basically if you draw something from an inspiration, and then you like people say that it looks same, like you have copied someone, and you're not actually good. That's how,
Okay.
this saying that you're not actually good is somehow part of imposter syndrome.
So me thinking that I'm not good is imposter syndrome,
uh, mm,
or be someone telling me that you have copied this from someone and me feeling bad
yeah.
about it.
It's basically
Oh,
about told that you are copied, or you feeling yourself that you are actually copying someone and you're not actually original. That's where you can call it's an imposter syndrome. It's not necessarily that someone has to tell you that yeah you have copied, but it's something like
mhm.
man mein lagta hai, like of course I've taken it from here, and people may not realize. People may realize it, and you feel like guilt, a bit guilt that okay people might get that okay I've copied it from this person and all.
Like that. Yeah, I have. Like, we are artists. We are not born like with originality and stuff. We get to a point that you realize that yeah, I'm making something new now. For me, I guess every artist starts from copying other artists, and that is how you actually find your own art and style. Like for example, me drawing these sort of eyes. I have been inspired by someone, and I have been trying to. I like the way that they draw eyes, and I feel like I should try to make eyes like they do. Something. Then could be more of a compilation of me being inspired by someone, like someone making an eye differently, someone making a lips differently, someone making hair differently, and it is completely me being inspired by other people. So I guess imposter syndrome, me feeling bad about it. No, I don't feel bad about it because I know that this is the process, and yeah, like you start off copying only. It's like it's very normal.
Yeah, actually, it's normal, but people actually don't realize that's an depression point. I would say in an artist life, like they feel like they.
I would say something on this. Last year when I started my art account, I was posting something and someone's commented, gave a bad comment, said that I've seen this already. Like someone has drawn this already. And I was like, even though I had mentioned that this is hashtag draw this in your own style, like it was a challenge and I drew it by someone else's this thing. I felt quite bad about it, and I did not post art a lot then. I was very quiet for one whole year. I deleted that comment and I was like, chuck it. I don't want to post anything. I don't have to do anything right now. I'll just make something that I want to make for myself. But then I was like, it was just one single comment. I don't have to abide by it.
Yeah, for an artist, it actually happens. Like we actually see our art as our baby, and then if someone says about it, then yeah, we do feel very bad. I have gone through
Yeah.
this. So now have you created a new layer, or you're working on the first layer only, the final one?
See, this is the final line art that I've made of the whole illustration. Now what I'll do is I'll go below it and I'll start coloring it a bit as I like it now.
Okay, so coloring it below. Okay.
Yeah. So for this I use the feature that is there. I trace the area. Just a second. I trace the area that I just want to affect and I don't want to go away out of it.
Beyond
So
it.
this is me. Yeah. So this is just me checking that area.
Okay, so you're considering that also as the hair part. Okay, I first
It's all
actually thought that
it's
the
all
middle
here.
one is actually going to be the end.
No, it's all here. So,
So you don't quite use vibrant colors. You actually go with tonal and um, plain colors, I would say. So have you ever tried vibrant colors, or are you going to try it in future?
um, I have thought a lot about making my art a lot vibrant. Like in sense, like me using this whole thing, like this whole palette is very simplistic. Now, if I think like I'm thinking of using different colors as well to make it more vibrant, but it will be more like me using maybe a splash of pink or green or yellow or white somewhere else, so that it gives you a small pop of the color, but it's not completely this thing very vibrant. It's like vibrant enough. That's it. I like the whole this thing. I like the whole thing to be more pasteled. Like I like the pastel palette right now.
Yeah.
So yeah. So this is a 2B compressed charcoal right now. It gives me a
Okay.
bit of a yeah. So I use this right now.
Okay, that was beautiful.
And now this is something called the clip masking feature. Now I can close this whole thing and when I clip the masking on the below layer, what happens is I can only draw on the area that is there in the area. So like
Okay.
suppose yeah. So when I draw, I cannot. You can see that I can only draw on the area that is there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot go out of it. So this is what clip masking is. I like the feature because it's very handy. I can only affect the area that I want to.
So this is the black color, or you have chosen a darker shade of uh, purple only.
Yeah, it's a darker shade of purple only to give it a like I want to keep the whole thing very minimalistic and in the same tone. So I'm using the same color but different shades of the same color.
Okay, great. Okay, so the darker portion is supposed to be the inner part of hair, and the light portions are supposed to be the outer hair portion, right?
Yep, yep. Now this is what happens when you unclip it. This is what happens when you clip it. So it stays in the area that is below it.
Like you said about 3D, can you repeat again?
Yeah, it's just giving it a bit of lightness and darkness, no? So what I'm doing is I'm just adding a bit of more darker shade, and the above area is hair above it, right? So I need to give it a bit of more push. That is, it's up there. It's above the layer. So
Okay.
I'm giving it just a bit of push with the darker shade. That's it.
The clipped area, can you actually change the clip area after a while? So like I made a mistake and I want to actually include this part in the clipping area. So can you actually do that again?
Um, meaning, I didn't get it.
So like I actually, so I wanted to include a part of my drawing in the clipping area, but actually mistakenly I didn't choose that, and after a while I realized that okay, I have to actually include that. So then I have to go with the process again, or is there a simple way to include that clipping area again?
Yeah, you can just use the normal brush again, and then you can rub it off. I usually do something like I clip over the clipping area like this, and I draw on it so that it doesn't affect the previous work, but it's a new edition of the same work, and I can edit it again.
So for choosing the tonality of the colors, like when you're actually going with purple, doing for lighter shade and darker shade, do you actually follow a hexa code, or do you actually just go with your intuition for what you feel may look good?
I think I go with what looks good, because at the end it's all about that. It's not about technicality. It's about how it looks good, right?
Yep, the hair tones are looking very nice.
As I said, it's literally me just going with what I like, how I like it. That's it.
Okay, so for adding fine details in the lines in the hair, you actually use light color.
Yeah. It gives it a bit of a push. You can see that now you see that that area is a lot highlighted and it's coming to your face. That's it. So for the I guess I'll finish the hair at the ending now, because I do a overlay of a much more darker shade on all the lines later on, because as you can see the basic background color is a bit different and the line color is a bit different. So what I do is at the end I go with a very darker shade. Suppose I choose this, I go with a much darker shade, and I just do a bit of overlining over it like this.
Oh,
So it gives it a push. So I'll do that in the ending because I don't know what all area I want to do. So I'll do the face area first because I want to give the face a bit of push as well. So for the face, I use the noise brush a lot because I want to keep the naturality of the whole face
yeah.
still. I still want the background color, the skin color, which is why I use the skin color as a background color. So I don't do a lot of very filling color. Like I fill the whole face, then I fill over it. So what I do is I just use the no, the basic area and I shade it using the same purple itself. You can see immediately, you can see a very big lift for the whole thing.
Yeah, without adding much colors, it does give a push.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this part of tutorial. Stay tuned for the next one. We are coming soon.